everybody, Sorbitin here and welcome back to another past paper practice video. In this video, we will be tackling some measurement multiple choice type questions. So let's head straight into the first one. So the question says, the item refers to the following diagram, not drawn to scale, which shows a cuboid. So the volume of the cuboid is 320 cm cube and the height is 5 cm. If the cuboid has a squared base, what is the length of one side of the base? So they told us that the volume here is equal to 320 cm cube. And we know the formula to find volume of a cuboid is volume is equal to length times width times height. But in this case, it told us that it's a square base. So it will be length times height. So they gave us a few things. They gave us the volume and they gave us this height here. So we can substitute this. We can say 320 is equal to the length times length. We can call that L squared multiplied by the height, which we found to be the 5. So we can then solve for this. So we know it will be 320. This 5 is multiplied and we take it over to divide. So 320 divided by 5, that should give me 64 is equal to L squared. So of course, it had to be a nice a number that you can find the square root of nice. So we can say L is equal to the square root of 64. So L is equal to square root 64. We should get 8 times 8 is 64. So the answer is 8 cm. So 8 cm here, which is simply A. So this question says, a square has the same area as a rectangle with size of length 9 cm and 16 cm. What is the length of the side of the square? So they want the length of one side of the square. So they told us that the area for the rectangle and area of the square, they're the same. So let's see, we see the rectangle has a length 9 and 16. So we know the area of the rectangle would be 9 times 16, which would be the area of here would be 9 times 16. So 9 times 16, we know 9 times 8 would be 72. And if we double that, that would be 144. So 9 times 16 is 144. So the area is 144 cm squared. So this is the area of the square as well. So we know to find area of the square, it's length squared. So we found the area to be 144. Since 144 is equal to L squared. So all we need to do now is find the square root of, they say we take over the square to be square root. So the square root of 144 is equal to L. So L will be equal to, when we square root 144, we should get 12. So the length of the side of the square is 12 cm, which is B. So next question says, the distance around a lake is 8 km. On the map, this distance around the lake is represented by the length 2 cm. The scale on the map is, so we know, let's first convert all of these units to the same thing. So we know we want to convert this km to cm. So we know the mnemonic, many Chinese dance, many days Hong Kong. So we know we want to convert from km, and we want to go to cm. So we put a 1 over the km and we put 0 until we reach cm. So we know it will be 8 multiplied by this number that we have here, which is 100,000. So 8 multiplied by 100,000, which would give me 800,000 cm. So the scale is 2 to 800,000. So now I can break this down. This 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 800,000 will be 400,000. So it's 1 to 400,000, which is simply D. So an aircraft leaves A at 1600 hours and arrives at B at 1930 hours, traveling at an average speed of 550 kilometers per hour. A and B are in the same time zone. The distance from A to B in kilometers is, so we want to find the distance from A to B. So it says the aircraft leaves A at 1600 hours and arrives at B at 1930 hours. So this aircraft took, so 16, 17, 18, 19. So it took 3.5 hours. So 3.5 hours to travel from A to B. So if it traveled at a speed of 550 kilometers per hour, they want to find the distance from A to B. So speed is equal to the distance divided by the time. So in this case, we were told that the speed was 550 kilometers per hour, and this is equal to the distance that we want to find divided by the time that was taken. So the time that was taken will be 3.5. So you can say this is 3.5. So to find for D, I must take over this 3.5 and it will multiply this 550. So this will be 3.5 multiplied by 550. That will give me the distance. So I'll do the math at the top here. So I can bring this out here. So I can have 550 multiplied by 35. So I put a 0 here. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. So I bring in that 5 here. 3 times 5 is 15 and 1 16. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. I bring in that 5 here. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 2 would be 27. So I add up here now. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. So I bring in the 2 here. I bring in a 1 at the top here. So 6 and 1, 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And I bring down the 1. So of course I brought out this point here. So I have to bring in back the point. So the distance is 1,925, which is D. And with that, this has brought me to the end of this video in which I tackled some measurement questions, some measurement multiple choice type questions, and I brought out some concepts here. So I wanted to use these concepts and tackle some more questions. So keep practicing and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.